Hi everyone, just waiting for a few of you to join. I just started a little bit early just to make sure that we are all set up and good to go. So come and join as and when, and before we start I will guide you through our restorative yin practice. So before we start we need, for those who are joining, we need a blanket or two, 1 to 2 pillows, a strap. So if you don't have a yoga strap, you can also use a belt or a dressing gown type. And then we're going to use blocks or block equivalents. So grab yourself 2 books or anything that's basically going to hold your weight. So, and also used to prop up pillows and blankets, but also we're going to put it underneath our sacrum or lower back, so just something that's safe to use. Just got a few more minutes here. So if you've got anything, you can pop up in the live chat as well, and I will reply either at the beginning or at the end before everybody joins. I have also got a playlist that you can listen to. Let me just let you know what it is. Or feel free to use your own playlist too. But just make sure it's like a really gentle, restorative music rather than anything too upbeat. So it's called Restorative Day 2 by Becca Brown. And there's just a series of really gentle music on there. So we will get started in about a minute. So get yourself nice and comfortable. We are going to be starting on our backs. So, and it's going to be around an hour's restorative practice. So just make sure that you are as comfortable as you can and as relaxed as you can be too. Just heard 2 other people join. Hi, nice to see you this evening. Good. So if you, I was saying, we've got the live chat, so it'd be really nice to say hello to whoever has joined. I think my mum and dad and my sister have joined, so hi. Okay, just right. So 6 o'clock, we will start. So for those who are new that have just joined, just making sure that we have our props. So a couple of blankets. If you've got a couple of blankets, a strap, you can also use a belt or a dressing gown tie. And then, did I say pillows? 2 pillows. And then also we're going to need some blocks. So either 1 or 2 blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, that's absolutely fine. You can use thick books or anything that's able to take your weight and is able to bulk up the bolster, the pillows or the blankets. So be creative. There's plenty of things in the house that you can use. But we will start in a supine position, so laying down position on your back. So here you can basically get as comfortable as you can. Where we start our practice, our restorative yin practice this evening. So you can take your pillow or your blanket underneath the knees and then just bring the upper body down. And we want to allow the body to soften completely into the mat. Bring the arms a little bit wider than the midline of the body with the palms facing out. This starts to soften the shoulders, but also opens you up to receive your yoga practice this evening. And then just allow the legs to become nice and heavy. Soften the hips, soften the shoulders. Just take a few moments to pause, arrive on your mat, just noticing if you're fidgeting, and that's good to become comfortable. So just find a pose, a position, make any adjustments that you need where you can just be still. And then once you've found that, closing down the eyes and start to bring your awareness to the breath. So breathing in deeply through the nose. Allow the belly to fully rise and expand as we inhale, creating space. And then as you exhale, soften, surrender the body into the mat. Again, a deep breath in through the nose. Maybe count the breath for 5. And then exhale for 5 or 6. Ideally, we want to lengthen the exhale so we can soften and become heavier into the mat. As you inhale, imagine you're filling up a balloon. Your body's expanding, creating this space, allowing the oxygen, energy to flow around the body to a cellular level. And then as you exhale, allow everything to melt into the mat. And then noticing if the mind has joined you this evening, or if it's elsewhere chatting away, and can you encourage your mind to join you on the mat? And as we start to inhale, imagine you're drinking up this golden light energy from Earth. It's flowing up the legs, flowing into every part of your body. Imagining this energy swirling around to every organ, every joint, muscle, cells. And then as you exhale, releasing from the crown of the head, imagine that you're pushing anything that no longer serves you, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, pushing this energy from your crown down the body, back to earth through the soles of your feet, where it returns to earth, neutralizes as you then breathe in this fresh energy. Deep belly breaths, allowing the diaphragm to fully expand, the main muscle involved in breathing, which we don't often use due to us generally breathing from the chest. So we usually have short, shallow breaths from the chest rather than deep, long belly breaths. So trying to imagine the belly rising first, and then the breath comes to the chest, and then the base of the neck. And then as you exhale, release from the base of the neck first, then the chest, and then the belly. A few more rounds like that. And as you lay here, pausing and taking a moment to think about your day, maybe your week, and showing gratitude to 3 things. It can be as simple as looking out your window, seeing the blue sky, hearing the birds tweeting, or eating a delicious, nutritious meal, spending quality time with your family, or picking up a new hobby whilst we're in this isolation. Notice that whatever is happening, there's always positivity within the world. Nature never stops. Good. So a few more breaths here. Allow the body to be at total ease. Just be here on your mat, focusing on yourself, part of your self-care, your self-love routine. And then bend the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe roll across the spine side to side, slowly, bringing a little bit of movement. Maybe bring the forehead up to meet the knees, squeezing yourself into a tiny little ball. And then release everything down and roll the bolster, your pillow, either to the front of the mat or to the side. Let me just move that out of the way so you can see. And then we're going to come into our banana asana pose, so our banana pose. So shifting your whole body to the right-hand side of the mat. So if anything, you might be slightly off of the mat. And then lift the upper body, the head, toward the top left corner. Take the arms up overhead. You can either goalpost the arms or take hold of opposite elbows, just listening to the shoulders, and then taking the legs to the bottom left-hand corner of the mat. So you might feel a really nice opening through the right side body, opening between the ribs, the intercostal muscles, maybe the outer hips. You can also take the right leg on top of the leg to cross the legs to come a little bit deeper. And closing down the eyes here. Soften the shoulders. And then just bring your awareness to your face. So can you ease through the jaw a little bit more? Maybe part the lips, take the jaw side to side. Easing any tension through the jaw. This can also lead to neck tightness, neck pain, especially if you grind your teeth or clench your jaw through stress, anxiety. Getting that mobilization can be really beneficial. And then taking your awareness to your ears. Can you soften the ears, the nose, your eyes, and then your forehead. You relax through your forehead, where you clench and draw the forehead up. Good. Staying here for 5 more breaths. Just allow the body to be still. Scanning the body, noticing any areas of tension that you may be subconsciously holding on to. And can you consciously ask yourself to soften. Good. And then slowly uncross the legs. Bring the legs back to the right hand side. Bring the upper body back. Release the arms down beside you. And then just shift the body to the center of the mat. Pausing here so that the spine can neutralize. And then take the whole of the body to the left-hand side of the mat. The upper body comes across to the top right-hand corner, either goalpost the arms or take hold of opposite elbows. And then the legs come to the bottom right corner. Maybe feeling that lovely opening through the left sideways. You might feel that you're more open here, maybe more resistance. And then if you cross the legs to the other side, you can now cross the left leg over the right. So you get a little bit deeper through the left outer hip. And then close down the eyes. Just soften, trying to avoid too many fidgets here. So our yin and restorative practice is often more challenging for the mind because we're in stillness for longer periods of time. So the breath here is really important, really helpful to help ease, soften into the pose, but also give your mind something else to think about. So every time you find your mind drifting, wanting to get out of the pose, counting the breath. Good. 5 more breaths here. Taking any tension out of the jaw, the forehead, the crown of the head. Is the neck soft? Deepest breaths here. Good. And then bring the legs back to the left, the upper body back to the left, and then just scoot yourself across to the center of the mat and pause here for a moment. Good. And then we're going to come into a side twist on our back. So taking the bolster between the knees, and then take the blanket between the knees, and then either take the pillows or the bolster, if you have a bolster, to the right hand side of the mat, roughly in line with the knees. And then we're going to either goalpost the arms if you're a bit restricted for space, or you can lengthen the arms out almost like a T, and then shift the hips to the left hand side of the mat and allow the knees to draw over to the right. So just a really gentle twist through the spine. And then for the moment, just stay gazing up to the ceiling. So we want as little pressure, tension through the neck as possible. Closing down the eyes here. And if closing the eyes doesn't feel comfortable, come to a softened gaze. Breathing in deeply through the nose, allow the belly to rise. Exhale, soften, surrender. And then bring your awareness to your feet. Are you clenching the toes? Tense through the ankles, the knees. And just allow the knees to become totally heavy and supported by your props. The hips soften, the shoulders soften down. Maybe have an ever so gentle tuck of the chin so we've got length in the back of the neck. Using the breath, so find that expansion within the body. Just here for a little bit longer. Find that stillness, mentally, physically. Good, 5 more breaths here. Make your last 5 breaths really deep, your deepest breaths. Melting into the mat. Good, one last breath here. And then slowly bring the legs up to rise. Adjust the hips in the center of the mat, and then take the bolster or the pillow to the left-hand side of the body. Goalpost the arms or find a comfortable position as we shift the hips to the right side of the mat and allow the knees to draw towards the left over the bolster. Gaze stays up towards the ceiling, closing down the eyes. Deep belly breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So our yin restorative practice works the feminine, the moon energy, the cooling energy. Really beneficial in the evening to calm down the nervous system. And preparing for a good night's sleep, a good rest. So we're often in our fight or flight mode. So by doing a yin style restorative practice, we help take the nervous system into relaxation. Good. A few more breaths here. The deepest breaths. Just notice if you're clenching the inner thighs, the hips. Good, last breath. And then on your next inhale, draw the knees back to center. Release the blanket to the side and roll to the right hand side and press yourself up. So we're going to come into our supported butterfly, our Supta Baddha Konasana, our reclined band angle. So either taking your pillows, the bolster lengthways, and using your props with your blocks, your blankets, and just depending on your back opening, your lower back, listen to the body. So I quite like adding a little bit of height to the top end, but you can also add one block on a tall setting and then the other block on the medium setting to add a little bit more support. And we're going to bring the base of the spine, so the tailbone to the end of the bolster, and then bring the soles of the feet together. Allow the knees to open, and then gently allow the body to come back, the upper body to rest onto the pillows, the bolster. You can roll the blanket up. Be as creative as you can here, but you just want the back supported. So from here, bring the arms down beside you with the palms facing up and closing down the eyes. If you want some support under the knees, you can roll your blankets up or anything else that you've got to put under the knees. Just find as much ease within the pose as you can. So shoulders are opening here, we're broadening through the chest. A really great position to do at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, especially if you work at a desk, at a computer. We live quite a sedentary lifestyle, we do generally, so by opening up, we're often on our phones, driving the car, so by being able to expand, open through the front body, we bring balance. Also, if you work on an energetic level, we're starting to open through the chakras here, especially the heart, which is for love, but not just giving love, receiving love as well. So being open and love in all meanings. And then the throat chakra starts to open here as well. So communication, honest communication. Good. And softening here. Closing the eyes, softening the gaze. And as we're in a hip opener too, start to notice if you're carrying tension in the legs, in the knees, the glutes, and where can you soften? Where can you ease any tension, consciously let go? We often hold on without even realizing, due to stress, anxiety, the daily hustle of life. Rushing around. So now using the opportunity to slow everything down. Maybe counting the breath. So count in for 4. At the top, pause and retain the breath for 1. And then slowly exhaling for 5. At the bottom of the exhale, pause for 1. Inhale for 4. Pause at the top for 1. And then exhaling for 5. Pausing at the bottom for 1. Good. Continuing this with your own breath, your own rhythm. If you're used to working with the breath for longer periods, you can breathe in for 5 or 6, maybe hold for 2, exhale for 6 or 7, and then hold for 2 at the bottom of the exhale. So just using the breath to whatever feels comfortable for you, where you can maintain soft, relaxed. Good. 5 more breaths here. Allow the belly to rise as you inhale. Feel that expansion through the ribs. And then exhale, the belly softens towards the spine. Good. 2 more breaths like that. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. And then taking the hands outside the knees, gently draw the knees up so we plant the feet onto the mat. And ease yourself to one side off of the props behind you. And taking your pillows, your blocks, and what we want to do is make like a little ledge. So I'm going to show you with 2 blocks. So place the blocks next to each other. You can also use a bolster, your blankets, or a pillow. And then I'm going to place the blanket over the blocks. If you've got lower back issues, then lessen the height of the block. This is just to take any pressure from the lower back. But what we're going to do is come to bring the sacrum, so the flat part of the back, onto your props. Keep the knees bent to start with. Ease yourself down. So your lower back, your sacrum should be totally supported by whatever you've chosen to use. And then if you're okay in your back, bring the arms out to the side, turn the palms up, and then start to lengthen the legs along the mat. So we're opening through the hips, the whole of the front of the body here. You can also reach the arms up overhead. Just be mindful to bring a little micro bend into the elbows. And then with the legs, bring the legs roughly hip width distance. Allow the toes to fall out and the heels to come in. And if you're feeling any tension, just give the legs a little bit of a shake side to side, just easing, come into softness. And then from here, closing down the eyes. Know that you're totally supported by the mat, the props. Good. Breathing here. Maybe even feel an opening over the abdomen as we're lengthening out. Good. 5 more breaths here. Deep breaths in. Shoulders soft, neck soft. Jaw is eased. Good. 2 more breaths. And then bending the knees, grounding the feet down, gently easing out of the pose to one side. And then we're going to come to our wide-legged child's pose using our props. So taking the props to one side, the blocks, whatever you had underneath you, and then bring your bolster, your pillow, lengthways on the mat. So if you're using a pillow, you might want to add a little bit of height with the blanket, so prop on top of each other. And then bring the knees wide, mats width distance apart, and the big toes come to touch. And just pause here for a moment. Allow the hips to become nice and heavy, softening everything down. And then when you're ready, hinge at the hips as we fold over, resting the torso onto the bolster. So taking the arms either side, palms facing down. And if we take one ear to the mat, halfway through I'll guide you to change direction just so that the neck stays nice and balanced. And then allow the belly to rest. If you're particularly tight in your shoulders, it can feel quite nice bringing the elbows a little bit wider. This just gives you a little bit more space. You can either bring the hands wider too, or you can keep the hands a little bit more So you're at a slight angle from the elbow to the hands. And then close down the eyes. So really lovely for the lower back, the hips here. Just checking in that the shoulders are soft. Breathing into the areas that you feel any resistance, any tightness. And I like to take my mind to that area. So imagine your mind is in that muscle. You're inhaling to create that space, allow the blood to flow. And then exhale to soften and let go. Inhale to find that space. Exhale to soften and let go. Good. Inhale to find that space. Exhale, softening and let go. Good. And then taking the other ear to the bolster. Closing the eyes. Maintaining that deep belly breath. So you may feel the belly compress a little bit into the bolster. And then exhale, soften. Noticing how the hips are feeling. The tops of the feet clenched. Are they softening into the mat? Good. Staying here for 5 more breaths. Finding that ease in the pose. Good. Breathing here, softening the body, bringing the mind back if it's drifting off. Good. 2 more breaths here. Last breath. Good. And then ever so gently pressing yourself up, sitting onto your heels, and then interlacing the hands as we inhale, lift the arms up, finding that length. Exhale, a little side bend to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Good. Back to center. Inhale, broaden through the chest, maybe take the gaze up. So we exhale, round the spine, press the hands away from you, draw the chin in towards the chest. Good. 2 more like that. Inhale. Use the whole length of the breath. As you exhale, draw everything in, belly towards spine, chin towards the chest. Good, last one. Inhale. Exhale. Release the hands down as you inhale, come back to center. So we're going to come into our restorative forward fold. So setup is totally up to you. You can place the blanket underneath the knees. This can feel quite nice, but what we don't want to feel here is too much of a stretch. So I quite like to roll the blanket under the knees and then playing around. So I put one end of the one block or book on the tall setting between the legs, and then bring the bolster close so it's at an angle. And then just give the legs a little bit of a wiggle so that we know the ankles, the thighs are soft. You can also, if you're particularly tight in your lower back, you can also sit on a blanket as well. Good. And then from here, start rounding through the spine, bringing the forehead down to the bolster. You might just have to play around with the positioning here. And then closing the eyes. So here we want the neck to be totally soft, the head supported by the bolster, a lovely opening curvature through the spine, hips are soft, thighs are soft, ankles are soft, jaw is soft. So coming back to your breath. Good. Staying here just for a little bit longer. Five more breaths, deep breaths. Breathing into the back of the body, especially if you feel tightness anywhere. You may feel this in your lower back, the hips, your mid-back, the shoulders. Use the breath to help ease, create that space. One more breath here. Good, and then slowly rolling yourself back up. So we're going to come into a forward fold with our Baddha Konasana legs, our butterfly legs, our bound angle, but with the support. So although we did it, I'm going to move my blanket out of the way for this one. So bring the soles of the feet to touch, knees open out wide. The block comes down or the bolster comes down, angling the bolster or your pillows or whatever props. So similar, we're coming into that forward fold. Bringing the head down. If you're quite far away, you can also put blankets on top of your props. The whole idea is to be as relaxed and supported as possible. So we shouldn't be feeling too much resistance here, too much pain. So we shouldn't be feeling any pain, but not, discomfort. So bring the head down, breathing into the inner thighs. Breathing into the shoulders, the neck, just here for a little bit longer. Allow the body to be still, encouraging the mind to become present, being mindful of how you are physically, mentally, emotionally, being aware of any emotions that may come up, and being able to sit with them. 5 more breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Good. Imagining that you're creating this expansion through the physical body, almost like you're filling up a balloon with air. And then as you exhale, you soften, let go, release. Good. One more breath here. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale to soften. Good. And then slowly rising up. So we're going to come into a wide leg forward fold now. So I'm going to spin to face you. So we want to have our props to hand, similar props to what the last 2 poses that we've done. But this time we want to take the legs wide. You don't want to take them too wide to their full capacity. We still want to allow the legs to be soft and not feel it too much through the inner thighs. And then prop your bolster up So the end closest to you is tall. Maybe bring a blanket, and then we're going to fold over the bolster, rounding through the spine. Soften the shoulders. Just making sure that the thighs are soft, and by doing this, you can just wiggle the legs. The ankles are soft. Often when we do these poses in our power vinyasa, we encourage as teachers for you to be active. But here we want to, because we're being supported, we want the body to relax. We want everything to soften. Good. 5 more breaths here. So the yin, your restorative practice, is a really lovely complement to your yang, the strength, the power style. So if you can try to do both, you'll find that it's a really well balanced practice. The yin works with the deep fascial connective tissue, so improving flexibility within the body. And then the power vinyasa yoga works more with the muscular strength. Good. Your next inhale, slowly rise up. Good. And then bring the props out of the way. And then bring the weight back. Take the hands outside the knees as you slowly draw the knees into the center. Good. And then we're going to come down onto our backs. So take the bolster and your strap. You'll do straps. So maybe your dressing gown or your dressing gown tie or your belt. And then place the bolster under the knees to start with. Keep the strap to hand. And then we're going to roll down, placing the back down. We're going to come into our supported bridge. So from here, press into the feet. As you lift the hips, roll your prop underneath your sacrum, so the flat part of the spine. Just take a moment to find comfort in the shoulders. You might need to release the shoulders. And then bring the arms either side with the palms facing up. Closing down the eyes here. Opening through the front of the body. Allow the hips to be completely heavy on the bolster, your prop, knowing that your body weight is being supported. So knowing this, become heavier and heavier. Let go of anything that you're holding on to, physically, mentally. Now's the time to give yourself permission to let go. Good. And then from here, lengthen the left leg along the mat. Just listen to your lower back here. So you can either stay in here as you start to open through the front of the left thigh, the hip flexor. If you want to go a little bit deeper, draw the right knee in towards the chest as you interlace the hands around the right shin, hugging that thigh towards the chest. If you're feeling bone-to-bone compression through the right hip, you can draw the right thigh slightly outside the rib cage. This just gives you a little bit more space. That opening through the front of the left thigh, you might feel it the inner right thigh too. But soften the left leg. Two more breaths here. Good, and then gently release the right leg. Bend into the left knee. Lengthen the right leg along the mat. And then if this is okay, draw the left knee in towards the chest as you interlace the hands around the shin. Draw the left knee slightly outside the rib cage if you're feeling compression. And use the breath into the areas where you feel any tightness, any resistance. The inhale creates space, allowing the blood there, nutrients, nourishing the cells. The exhale, you release, surrender anything unwanted. Good, 2 more breaths here. Good, then release the left leg down. So now taking your strap, we're going to bend the knees, come into a happy baby variation. So the pelvis is supported. Unravel the strap, bend the knees, place the strap around the balls of the feet, and then lengthen. Take hold of opposite ends of the strap, and then lengthen the feet out and encourage the knees down. So this is a really lovely way to open into the hips and come into a happy baby modification whilst maintaining softness through the shoulders and broadening through the chest. Often when we come to our happy baby, there's tension as we try and reach the outer edges of the feet. So the chest closes, the shoulders peel off, the neck gets tense. So this is a really nice way, but also it gives you a little bit more access to go a bit deeper through the hips because the tailbone, the pelvis is supported and slightly tilted. So just breathe into the areas where you feel tight here. You may feel it in the glutes, the inner thighs, breathing here, and knowing that the shoulders are soft. And although we're gripping the strap, can you come to a soft, easy grip? So there'll be some tension through the ankles as we flex them here to have the strap around them. Good, 2 more breaths here. Nice. And then as we inhale, draw the legs, the feet towards the midline. Lengthen through the legs. Walk the hands a little bit higher up and encourage the legs towards the face. So we're coming into supported bend here. Breathing up the backs of the legs. You may feel this in the glutes, the outer hips. Keep the shoulders soft. Easing any tension on the strap. Good. Breathing up the backs of the legs. This is more of a yin style. Okay, good. Just notice, and it's really important here when we hold these poses to be aware of the breath. If you're struggling to breathe, you're retaining the breath is staggered, delayed, then you've gone too far, so you need to ease out of the pose. Noticing what discomfort may appear and using the breath. Good, 2 more breaths here. Good, and then bend the knees, release the strap, coming into our supported shoulder stands. So we literally keep the props underneath the lower back and allow the legs up into the air. So just make sure that the ankles are relaxed, a little bend in the knees, a gap between the legs. And it's really nice to take the weight out of the feet. Our feet support all of our body weight over time. So it's really lovely for the body, lovely for the joints, just to take any pressure, any weight out of them. Good. Staying here for 2 more breaths. And then gently release the feet down. Lift the hips and roll the props underneath the knees or to the side. And we're going to prepare for our Shavasana, our relaxation. So taking a blanket, if you'd like, you can pop a pillow underneath the head, a blanket underneath the head. Just get as comfortable as you can here. And as you lay down, taking the legs a little bit wider than you normally would, so the feet roughly max width distance, toes allowed to draw out, the ankles towards the midline. And then the arms down beside you with the palms facing up. And closing down the eyes here. Coming to your relaxation, most important part of your yoga practice. Coming to an easy natural breath, softening the jaw, allowing the eyes to close and the body to sink. And then bring your awareness through each joint of the body, the fingers, the toes, the ankles, the wrists, the knees, the elbows, the pelvis, the hips, the shoulders, spine, neck. And ask yourself to just be. Allow the body to just be here on your mat. Releasing, letting go. And allow your body to drift off to a place where you feel content, a place where you feel peace, and a place that brings you happiness. And sit with that, sit with those feelings through your relaxation. Just for now. Just for now, without asking how, let yourself sink into stillness. Just for now, lay down the weight you so patiently bear upon your shoulders. Feel the earth receive you, and the infinite expanse of the sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. Just for now, allow a wave of breath to enliven your experience. Breathe out whatever blocks you from the truth. Just for now, be boundless, free, with awakened energy tingling in your hands and your feet. Drink in the possibility of being who and what you really are. So fully alive that the world looks different, newly born and vibrant, just for now. So slowly bringing your awareness back into the room, back into the physical body. Bringing gentle movements to the fingers, the toes. Rotating the wrists and the ankles. And giving yourself a full body stretch, as if you're waking yourself up in the morning. Easing into your day. And then hug the knees in towards the chest to give yourself a well-deserved hug, thanking yourself for making it to your mat this evening, dedicating this time to both your body, your mind. And then if you've got the bolster underneath the knees, roll it to the top of the mat, and then gently roll to the right-hand side. Keeping the eyes closed. Good. And then gently pressing yourself up to a comfortable seated position, cross-legged or kneeling, whichever is most comfortable for you. Eyes staying closed, and we'll join with our hands at our heart center in our Anjali Mudra. Taking the hands to the crown of the head for kind thoughts and positivity. Bringing your hands to your lips for kind words and honesty. And bringing your hands to your heart center for love and compassion to yourself and all other beings. Thank you for joining me this evening. Hope to see you here again soon on your mat. Namaste.